Davante Adams prefers a trade. We'll talk to Peter and Albert Breer about that because right now, Davante Adams, now you say he prefers a trade. He didn't demand a trade. Now maybe it's semantics. It's a very nice way of saying, I'd like to get out of here. I don't know why he stayed in the first place. When they traded Derek Carr, he went there to play with Derek Carr, his former college teammate. Don't you think that he looked around and he sees the quarterback room and goes, Aiden who? Gardner, huh? This is the guy who played with Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr. Now all of a sudden you look around, you're not going anywhere. You didn't get a quarterback in the draft. I was surprised that he started the season with the Raiders because I thought he would say, look, let's just see what you can get for me. Let me go someplace else. We're not going to be competing this year. Now we have a situation where the trade deadline, I believe, is November 5th. He has a hamstring injury. Well, you can't really say, does he have one? Or maybe it's just convenient. Maybe he doesn't want to play anymore and it's a hamstring and it's day-to-day. Because this has to be awkward. And then there was a post about him preferring a trade that his head coach, Antonio Pierce, on social media liked. I'm guessing it was accidental. I don't like stories. I've never done that before. I don't know how you do it accidentally. Hey, there's a story there. I just hit liked there. Yes, Todd.
Talk about passive-aggressive. I love that. I could speak to that for days if he purposely clicked that.
But I'm sure that the Jets situation will come up. I think it's mandatory that any analyst who's on ESPN or Fox has to say the Dallas Cowboys would be interested in Davante Adams. I'm waiting for somebody to say, and don't rule out the Lakers. I mean, might as well get them all in there. Bronny, LeBron, and Davante Adams with the Lakers. Wait, he plays football. I don't care. He could go to the Lakers there. Okay. And we're going to play the where will Davante Adams end up. So you have the Jets. The Cowboys are in there, I guess. The Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, the Washington Commanders, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and a dark horse, the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't imagine the Raiders trading a great player in the division to the Kansas City Chiefs. As far as the Cowboys go, I like that they'd have money for Davante Adams, but they didn't have money for Derrick Henry. Okay. But it's the Cowboys, and after, they had a couple of ugly losses here, their problem is not offense. Their problem is defense, defensive line here. But if you can somehow work in the Cowboys, sure. The Cowboys had 20 points against New York, but having a number 2 option to CeeDee Lamb, all right, I get it. But I think the Ravens are sneaky interesting. Just because go all in. I mean, you got a chance. That's where you see these teams. If I'm the Jets, I have to get him. I have to get him. I mean, what's the downside? You got Rodgers to win now. Your offense has not been good at all in. Now, I don't know what it cost you. I read a couple of reports, maybe a second-round pick for Davante Adams. Then you got to pick up his salary. I'm sure you'll get some capologist who can help you with that. But that, to me, makes the most sense. But we'll play the where will Davante Adams end up coming up in a little bit. By the way, Davante Adams was with Kay Adams, no relation, and it started.
Actually, we're checking.
Oh, okay. Up in Adams with Kay Adams, and here's her question to Davante Adams.
How much does it bother you when you keep hearing these trade things? Because I would be paranoid.
It gets annoying for sure. I'm one of those players that people like to talk about one way or the other. So if I was the type of guy that, let certain things that people say on the outside get to me, then, I wouldn't be in the position that I am now. I've had some ups and downs in the league, and through it all, I've just tried to stay like this and, do my part in that. So whatever else happens, what people are talking about, what people are tweeting, liking, whatever it is, I can't do anything about that.
Well, I think he was trying to do something about it. He is doing something about it if you are reportedly preferring to be traded by the Raiders. And then there was a report that last year he had gone to them or started the camp that, maybe it's time to move on. I don't know how old Max Crosby is, probably late 20s. What is he, Paulie?
27.
Okay. If you're Max Crosby and all of a sudden you go, wait, Davante wants out? I think that if I'm Max Crosby, I would say that I prefer to be traded as well.
I like the tone of that. Like, you know where I'd like to be? Not so much here, but elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not demanding anything.
No.
I just, you know what I'd like to be instead of here? How about there?
Prefer.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, prefer. All right, Todd, you're doing the poll question honors today?
I am right in the wheelhouse of what we're talking about. First hour poll. Which team will Davante Adams be traded to? Bills, Chiefs, Commanders, Jets, Ravens, Steelers, and our favorite other.
Well, just put the Cowboys on there.
Yeah, Cowboys.
You got to have the Cowboys.
Okay, let's get
yeah,
the Cowboys.
because you're going to get clicks if you have the Cowboys on there. Of course the Cowboys would want him. Yes, Paulie.
A lot of the people are saying it's about cap room. There's some teams that have the cap room and some teams that don't.
Mm-hmm.
Some teams that do, not attractive places like the Patriots, or but teams that have cap room. The 49ers surprisingly have cap space because of the Brock Purdy situation.
Ooh.
The Browns, the Patriots, Lions, Commanders, Cowboys, Cardinals, Jets. That's the top 8 in cap space right now, like this season.
Well, I would say if I'm the Lions, now sometimes you get somebody to keep that guy from going to someplace else. So this might be a proactive move that, hey, let's get him so he doesn't end up with San Francisco. Or if you're the Jets, you don't want him going to Kansas City. Now, you do want him on your team, but you also want to make sure that somebody else doesn't get better because the move you're going to make is to win a Super Bowl. It's not going to be, hey, we're Carolina, we're rebuilding. That, yes, you are, but Davante Adams isn't going to want to go there. He'd prefer not to go there. Yes, Marvin?
And when Davante made that trade request, they say, hey, what about Cleveland? Whoa, not there. I prefer not to go there.
I'll stay here.
But the Browns need him.
Real bad.
Yeah, they do need him. But if I'm Davante Adams, I probably go, I helped you beat the Ravens. Now I'll join you, and let's beat everybody else here. Kansas City, imagine that. Walk into that. I just don't know if the Raiders would be willing to trade in the division to the Chiefs. I wouldn't be. I couldn't. If I'm Mark Davis, there's no way I could watch the Super Bowl and all of a sudden Davante Adams is out there and you're going, we just gave them another Super Bowl. Yes, Paulie.
I wonder, I was reading today, some people in New York are speculating Aaron Rodgers could, volunteer to restructure again. He still gets all his money, but he just defers it, Shohei Ohtani style.
Well, you got Garrett Wilson there too, but he's been limited. Alan Lazard has been limited. But if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm tampering.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Burner phone?
I am, whatever it takes. I'd tell him if you could find maybe a phone booth, I'm going to call it. I don't think they have phone booths anymore, do they?
You see them occasionally like by the subways, but not too much in New York
Like
City.
a true phone booth or the ones that are just like a little...
Oh, you mean the box style?
Yeah.
Checking.
Yeah. I remember using that before in Times Square, and it's not a good thing to put that up to your ear and your mouth when you're in Times Square. You have no idea what has happened in Times Square, but you could pretty much guess what could have happened. Yes, Paul?
There are no more freestanding public payphones in New York City. There are 4 full, they call them Superman booths, the ones where you open the doors. They are freestanding and in New York, but their phones are not in service. The people who own the property just said you could leave them outside there. There's one outside a bar in New York City, but people take pictures in it like it's a novelty.
Oh,
item.
okay. Yeah.
But the phone doesn't work.